Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube once again. And before we begin, we want to touch a little bit on Power Query and its transformation tool. In the recent, I figured that there's a whole lot of jump. We see a whole lot of skill gap we see in data analysis, which is the gap where people need to learn to transform and clean up data before getting into analysis. To do visualization and beautiful charts is one thing, right? But then the steps that get us there is also another thing to consider. And those steps are the things that we're gonna do today, which is to see how we can utilize the Power Query that is attached to Power BI and in Power and in Excel, which is a transformation tool Microsoft has added to their tools like Excel and Power BI. Is a transformation tool that is used to clean up data. And in my rating, I think is the best transformation tool I've used so far. I don't think there is any other transformation tools I've seen that is better than Power Query because one, first of all, it gives me control of how I want to handle my data. It gives me access to every form of transformation that I want to do. It doesn't limit me to any sort of transformation. That is why I like it. This is in terms of analytic tools, right? But if I'm working on a data science or something that is related to coding like Python, I will go with Python because there and there there is a whole lot of transformation I can do using Python. But I need to separate it from Power BI, which is like a kind of like different tool for me, especially for those that are working with visualization tools like Power BI and all sorts. So this is why I will always recommend this. So what are we gonna do with Power Query? First of all, I've told you what Power Query is all about. It's just a simple transformation tool, right? Um, we're gonna build steps from the basic level or maybe beginners level to intermediate, then to advance on some of the things that we can do with Power Query. For me, this is everything. In fact, what makes you an analyst is one of the things that makes you an analyst is learning how to transform your data, learning how to swim into your data, learning how to understand your data because you can never tell a story of what you don't know. You need to know the data in and out, and knowing the data in and out is through one of the things I'm gonna show you, which is all the steps I'm gonna go through in learning how to transform our data. So let's go straight into it. First and foremost is this is basically for beginners, right? Because I know most people that use Power BI may just know how to easily get their data into the Power BI, right? But for a lot who are just starting up in Power BI, you need to know that there are different databases, different data types, different data formats, right? So your data set will have a defined format in which you will bring it into the Power BI platform or Power Query platform with, right? Some of those formats it could be that the data set is in Excel, which is what we can see here. You can see import from Excel, or it is in an SQL for those that already have database somewhere. So all you need is just to get into the SQL server and put your authentication if you need it, and then you get all the data that you need. We also have a case where you can just paste like a simple data. You can create a simple data yourself from the Power Query itself, and then we also have other sample data like if I show you like there are some inbuilt data that Power BI puts in their model just for training purposes, I believe. If I can just show you, you can just see one of the ways that we can bring in data into the Power Query. So it's connecting us to the sample data that is already inbuilt. So wait for it. Yes. So the navigator is kind of like a link that links, more like a connector that links you to the to where that data is and how you can then bring it into the Power BI model or Power Query. If I click this, now there are two things that I will see. First and foremost, you see two icons. One is saying this icon is a table, while this icon is a sheet, right? So because you see most of these things when you are dealing with Excel, because Excel has different data structure. There are those that are just in the sheet. However, in most cases, Power BI will kind of like suggest based on the outlook of that data on Excel. It might suggest it and say, do you want this to be imported as a table? So table means it will be more structured, meaning that it has columns and rows and all defined sorts. That's what we mean by structure. Where in some cases it may not come up as a table, it may come up as sheet, means that there is no much of defined data structure in it. Therefore, you have to bring it that way and maybe do further transformation in it. So in such cases, or if you see is a table, always go for the table if it is what you want. And this is the data that we want from that Excel, because Excel contains sheets, and sheets can also contain different tables, So there can be 2 or 3 tables in one sheet. Do you get that? That's why we have a case where there is a table and there is a sheet. So if you click sheet, it means you want to bring in all the tables at once that are in that sheet, or you need a specific table that you want to bring in. This is also another way you can see that, right? Once you click it, it's gonna give you like a preview of what the data is like before you can bring it in. Let me click on the sheet one. So you see what I'm saying? So here, it's not gonna treat it as a structured data because you are bringing it in as a sheet, right? But when you bring it in as a table, it is more structured than when you are bringing it in as a sheet. That is one thing you might need to know about this, right? And then you can just look at this and see the columns and everything that it has. By the way, yes, it will show you it will show you all the sizes of that data set in the cases where you have very large data set. It might just show you, I don't know how many, I think like 20 rows. I can't begin to count them. Also, it might just give you a preview of 20 rows of that data before you can bring it in. Now, the load means you are loading it straight into the Power BI to just start your analysis immediately. But in case where you need to first of all, which is always what I will always recommend, whether it is clean or not, first of all, put it into Power Query and see what the data is all about. Because in the Power Query, that is where you will see, okay, how many rows is it? What are the columns you have and everything? That's where you kind of like look and make sure that everything is okay before you can then bring it into the Power BI. So I'm not going to load it, we're going straight into the transform data. When you click on this transform data, what it's gonna do is to take you into Power Query, which is an integrated tool that is in Power BI. It is in Power BI, it is also in Excel, which I have shown you in my previous lessons. If you check through my previous videos, you see some of the transformation we've done on Excel, but this time around, this is for Power BI, right? So we'll click on transform data. So you can see this Power Query. So it takes you straight into a Power Query editor, which is like a different window outside of your Power BI. So it takes you straight into this place and gets you all the data that you need. You see all that. You see all that. Now, while you are here, and in the case where you need to bring in other data into this Power Query, you don't even need to go back to the Power BI. You can from here also get in more data. Maybe in a case where you're working with different data from in different working with different data that are in different data formats, right? So you can, if you click on this page, you see new source. New source means like a new source where you can get more data. So you see all we saw the other time, this is Excel, this is for SQL Server, and in these days we have analysis services for, these are basically for those that use fabrics and other sort of other analysis services, which are also part of, which are also places where we can get data from, or text or CSV. When you see text or CSV, this is also another common file format that we work with, right? CSV or text, that's how it's called. And then there's also web, like normal web, like in the internet. If that data is in the internet and you need to stream it into your Power BI, this is another route that you can use to get it. There are also other ways, like even blank query, like building a query from the scratch. Like what we call query is like a table. So building a fresh table, keying everything directly into the Power BI, into the Power Query. That's what they mean by blank query. Or another platform like ODataFeed, in cases if maybe some of the data you want to work with are in the ODataFeed, you can also use this platform as well to get in those data. But these are all, and there are many more. I mean, if you click more here, let's click more. You see, there are a lot of different places we can get. It has Power BI tries to add a lot of different services nowadays where you can get data. We have Amazon, we have SAP, depending on where the data you are getting, where it is, wherever it is, you can use different, even GitHub, yeah, even LinkedIn. There are different places where you can get your data and bring it straight into the Power BI using your connector, I mean Power Query. And you will see me use Power BI and Power Query interchangeably. Just always know that what I mean. Even PDF, if maybe for an example of a PDF, data that is in a PDF could be your bank statement. Yes. Your bank statement that is in PDF, you can use a PDF connected to get the data that is in a PDF format and bring it into Power BI and you can begin to work on it. Yes. So these are like different ways that we can also bring in data. Folder is also in a case where you don't want to bring, maybe you have maybe for instance a sales data that is divided or maybe shared in different modes, right? So instead of bringing it one by one, you can use a folder to combine all of them and bring it all at once from a folder. So these are like different ways we can bring in data. So let's just demonstrate some few let's just bring in some few data that's with different data formats so you can see how, I mean, the real practice, what it is like. So I think I have one CSV file. If I can just go straight into it. Yes, sales CSV. Yeah, so you can see I have a sales CSV here. Yeah, so this is CSV. So I can bring this as a into the power Power Query and then see. Yeah. So you see, it will first of all give you like a preview of what you're about to bring in. Yeah, so this is based on first 200 rows. So it's telling you that this is based on what? First 200 rows. I mean, based on the data types and everything. So it tells you everything about that. So we can see sales order this, order that, customer name, email address, and all that. So maybe you can also bring this into this. You say, okay. So you can see now how we started from what? from sample data that is in Power BI. Now we are bringing in our own data that is in what? CSV. I can also bring in another data that is in what? Excel. So we brought one CSV, one Excel, right? So let me if I have let me check. Yeah, maybe Coca-Cola. Yes. So this Coca-Cola is in Excel, right? So I can also bring this here. Yeah, this here. Yeah, this is Excel. So this is another data that is in Excel. So I can bring it in here. Yeah. So we've brought one CSV, one Excel. Maybe we'll try one more data route. So before we can move forward from this. So let's see. Now you see what I just explained without being told, right? I can see that this is a case where we have different tables under one sheet. Now, if you see in that Coca-Cola is a one sheet, but it contains like different what data under what different tables under it. Now, that's one thing I like about Power Query Intelligence. It may not even be actual table in that sheet, but once there is a cluster of data around that sheet, Power Query consider this to be like a table. Power Query thinks that it is a table and automatically structures it for you, right? If I open this Coca-Cola Excel, you will see how it is from the inside, and then you see how Power Query reads it. So these are different tables. If I open this profit and loss, you can see this, right? You can see this profit and loss table, and this is the balance sheet. The balance sheet, right? The balance sheet. Then this is also another table. This is also another one. Yeah. Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah. So this is like another worksheet. So this is like three different tables from one. So instead of bringing it here as an uncommon unstructured data, I'm bringing them more as what structured word data. Yes, and I can select multiple tables at once from one connector. Yes, I'm bring the three of them all at once. I'll just okay it. Yes, and you see the whole tables will come in. This is the whole table, so it has to bring it in the way it has. Yeah, to process it from the table, and you can see what is in there. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see we have that table, and then we have this table, and then we have another table like this, right? So we've done one CSV, one Excel, one sample data. Let's go to the web and get any table we can see on the web, right? Um, let's let's get this here. So if I search maybe like what population data, just to try something, 2020. So let's see if I don't know this. Thank you. Yeah, wordometer. So this is like a live, yeah, this is kind of like what I'm looking for, like a live table where we can have, so this was population, this is, yeah, I consent, it's okay. Yeah, Or population. I mean the ones that comes with nation. I wish I can see something like that. That comes with nation and their population and stuff like that. Yes, yes, yeah. So view suitable. So let's open this up. Yeah. So this is an example of the kind of data that we can get from a web, right? So you see this table that you can see here, this table that you can see here, instead of me having to maybe find a way of downloading this table, I can stream it straight into the Power BI service, just the way it is. So all I need is just to get this, copy this URL. Oh God, how this advert. I don't need to do this. Oh God. Yeah. All I need just to copy this, the URL. Yeah, copy the URL. So let's go back to our Power Query. So here, I'll go to the new source and go to the web. I go to the web. So you see, it's asking me what is the URL of that web or where that table is. If I open it, you can okay. So what it's gonna do is to connect. So it asks me to connect to the web. Use anonymous access, yes, because I don't want you to read my computer or anything. So always make sure to read via anonymous, just for security reasons, depending on where you are getting the data from. Okay, we are waiting for it to connect. Yo, so now, so this is what is reading from that web, right? So we're gonna check all the tables one by one to see the ones that we are actually looking for, right? So if I click on this, that's not what I want. Check on this, that's not what I want. Although there is a web view for all of these, which kind of like will make it very easy for you to locate. But let's first of all locate our table, and then I can show you what is like on the web view. Now this is the yearly growth. Assuming this is just the table that we wanted, we'll just go with this. Now you see that I'm selecting the table, not clicking on it. There are two different things about selection and picking the table. So I'm only selecting, which is just to see the tables that I'm looking for, right? So not table 4, let me check 5. Not this, let me check 6. Let me check 7. Let me check 8. I think we are closer. Let me check 9. Is that that looks like a top 10. I don't want a top 10. I want the full table. So let me check this. Let me check that. Let me check this. Yes. That kind of looks like hang on. Let me check this line again. You can go with this, can go with top 10. I don't know why I didn't show the full table. I'm just a bit conscious of the web because I mean anything can go into the web. I just want to make sure that you get so I can just click on this, right? And you can enter it in. So we'll bring that particular table. This looks like a top 10 world population, which you can see from this. India is number 1, China, US, Indonesia, Pakistan, then Nigeria, and other. So, and in order not to mix it up, I can also rename this table. Yes, you can rename this table to, you can call it world population. Oh my God. World population. So I think I'll call it top 10 because that's what it looks like. Top 10, yeah, top 10 of population. Yeah, okay. And this is everything about the top 10, the population really change. They keep changing. Interestingly, Nigeria has grown in over a year by 2%, which is which is second to the highest after Ethiopia. Um, yeah, it's just interesting facts about those countries, their landmark, their density. Oh, let's not dive into this. So we don't shift from our focus. So we've seen how we got different data from different data sources under one radar, which is like in the same platform at the same time. So that's just one job of Power Query. The next thing we are gonna do is to get deeper into how to deal with some tasks in Power Query. Example maybe like missing values, duplicates, and stuff like that. See you guys in the next lesson.